Good afternoon. My name is Michael Schenkel, and I'm the chair of ANC 2C. I'd like to welcome everybody in the room and online to ANC 2C's June 9th meeting. It is now 6 o'clock p.m., and I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll start tonight with a roll call of our commissioners, and we'll start on my far right with Commissioner Lee.
This is Thomas Lee, Commissioner 2C03 for Historic Penn Quarter and the National Mall.
And good evening. My name is Jim Swart. I'm the Commissioner for 2C04, covering a portion of Chinatown and all of City Center, as well as a portion of downtown.
I'm Nancy Groth, Commissioner for 2C02, Soma, south of Mass Ave, Scott Circle, Thomas Circle, traditional downtown K Street, and Black Lives Matter Plaza.
And again, I'm Michael Schenkel. I'm from 2C01, which includes Chinatown and Penn Quarter. Thank you, commissioners. We have 4 of 4 commissioners present this evening. Therefore, we do have a quorum. So thank you. And I will begin by reviewing the agenda for everyone this evening. I am sharing the agenda online with you. You may also, there in the room, there's agendas by the door. And if you're online joining us, you can get an agenda at anc2c.us. It is available there on our homepage for download. Tonight, we'll start with our administrative matters, and then we will have a special presentation from the Office of Planning regarding the DC 2050 Comprehensive Plan. We will then, we're going to do a little modification to our agenda. We will then hear from the Chinatown, Save Chinatown Solidarity Network. We will have our community announcements. And we have 2 consent items this evening, local events that impact the community, which we'll be addressing, and an APCA license to review. And we will have an update regarding the 16th Street Northwest Landscape Median Project. And we will end this evening with one resolution to review at tonight's meeting. Are there any other additions or corrections to the meeting? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as modified? It's okay, take it up.
I'll move to approve the agenda as modified to bump the Chinatown Solidarity Network presentation up closer to the beginning.
And I'll second that.
So motion by Commissioner Swart, Commissioner Groth, seconded by Commissioner Swart. All those in favor, can I have an acknowledgement by, okay, 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. The May agenda was presented, the May minutes were presented to the commissioners for review. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the May minutes?
I make a motion, we approve the May minutes.
Second.
Seconded, motion by Commissioner Swart, seconded by Commissioner Groth. All those in favor, Acknowledge by saying, okay, 4 of 4
Okay.
commissioners voting in favor of that. Terrific. We will now move forward with our treasurer's report.
Oh, wait. All right, a second. The May 2026 Treasurer's Report, we had an opening balance of 65,415 and 40 cents. And we have a closing report balance of $64,365.40 with a change of negative $1,050 spent on minute services, as well as a check for Christina Lee, which was for was part of the Chinatown Solidarity Grant. Also, I have here Q2 fiscal year 2026 quarterly financial report. For Q2, we had a starting balance of $67,298.41. And we have an ending balance of $65,415.40. We had a total expenditure of $1,883.01. Never mind that 1 cent. $1,883 in fiscal years in Q2 of this current fiscal year. 258 of that was spent on a post office rental, and the remainder was for minute services in who prepares our minutes. And so I'll distribute this for everyone to review and to sign. And then we can submit that. And then earlier today, I met with
You want us to physically sign as opposed to electronically signing?
yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
that's
so.
fine. If you can scan it from this, then
Right.
it's
If you
one
sign,
less
I'll
step.
scan it. Okay. Then earlier today, I met with Chair Schenkel, and we went to PNC Bank, and we established a high yield savings account for for the high balance that we have in our checking account. And we created a new account and transferred $40,000 from our current account over to this new savings account, and at an interest rate of 3.5%. So can I get someone to?
I'll move to accept the May 2026 monthly treasurer's report and the Q2 quarterly financial report for this fiscal year at Q2.
I will second that. All those in favor? Is that a yes, Thomas?
Yes.
4 of 4 commissioners voting to approve that report.
Questions? At the May meeting, I don't think we had an April. Did we have an April monthly treasurer's report in May?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Can we check and make sure so that we can accept that also?
Okay, sure. I can do it later on in the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me.
Also, now that we finally got the savings account set up,
Yeah.
You'll file whatever we need to file with OANC so that they know it. Yeah, okay, good. The magic forms. Yeah, we'll need.
Yes, I'll return with the April and March reports if I need to.
Okay.
It's on my computer.
And just to confirm, we have not received disbursements for any of those time periods yet for Q2.
I think we just received a disbursement for
Q1.
There's several on the QFR portal. There are several allotments showing as coming in,
Okay.
but I think we're behind the holding one at this point. I'm
Got
not
it.
sure.
Okay,
Also, further question about we don't have an approved 2026 budget because,
Yeah, we submitted that.
okay.
It's
So,
along with the narrative that we.
okay, so you did both the spreadsheet part
Yes,
and the narrative.
yes.
Fabulous.
So
Okay.
the set earlier today. Yeah.
awesome. Terrific. Any other?
Yeah.
Any other items for the treasurer?
Nope, I'll return with the April report shortly.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I have some other administrative items. I am publishing the administrative position that we have open. This is for a person to help run our meetings and to coordinate our activities
Recording in progress.
and to sorry, and to coordinate our activities as an ANC. So that will be published, and I will also put that on our website within the next week.
Yay.
And let's see.
One other loose end that I have not done is to get the minutes onto the website. Thomas, you had asked for them. Did you do that or?
I've
Right.
got that.
Okay, I'll still try to figure out how to do that.
We do have thank you all for that. We do have a special presentation tonight. And do we have someone from the Office of Planning on with us?
Yes, I'm here online.
Sorry, definitely. So we have, I'm probably going to not do your name justice here, but Rita Abushamira?
Samra, close. Abu Samra.
Okay, got it. Terrific. From the Office of Planning to talk about the DC 2050 Comprehensive Plan.
All right,
Oops.
thank you. And nice to see some of you again. I know we just saw each other on Saturday.
Yes.
A separate effort. Is it okay if I share my screen?
You may share,
Okay,
please.
go ahead and quickly do that. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, great. Okay, so first of all, I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Rita Abu Samra. I'm a senior planner with our neighborhood planning division at the Office of Planning. I'm also the ward liaison for wards 1 and 2. There's 2 of us for each couple of wards, so I'm one of them. I'm here to talk to everyone about DC 2050. Hopefully that cooperates. One second. Okay. So what I'm going to talk about today is first, I'm going to explain how the Office of Planning is approaching the comprehensive plan differently than previously. And then I'm also going to tell everyone about how we're collecting feedback for how we're expecting DC to grow and our approach for that, and also land use changes. So for those that don't know, and sorry for those that are already familiar with this, but just to have us all start from the same starting point, what's a comprehensive plan? Typically, every city or jurisdiction has them. Comprehensive plans are long range vision plans, and basically a plan for the growth for the entire city. They typically happen every 20 years or so. And this is all just give or take. Don't take the exact numbers as just kind of set numbers. They happen every 20 years. And then what we've typically done in DC is every 5 years or so, we will issue an amendment to the comprehensive plan. So what we are doing right now is we are doing a complete rewrite of the plan. So like I said, that's kind of a full rewrite is something that happens every 20 years or so. So it is a big deal. And a comprehensive plan usually includes policies and priorities and guidelines that guide the city, basically at the citywide level. And then there's other plans that come out of that that can be means to execute what's in the plan. Where we are at with our timeline, and forgive the date here, it's supposed to say June. We had a bit of an extension, but we're in phase 2. We're exploring possible futures. And actually, we had a survey. It closed 2 days ago for those that were not able to make it to our in-person workshops. Yeah, so we shared our vision, and we had in-person workshops, we had the online survey, and we collected feedback, and now we're basically going back to the drawing board and incorporating what we heard, and we plan on going back out into the community in the fall to kind of share where we are at. So in terms of our engagement, we've engaged more than 5,000 people in our comprehensive plan so far. We've had several engagement events. Those include large workshops, focus groups, briefings, pop-up engagements, and like I said, the online survey. A bit about what we heard. So in terms of where to grow specifically, 82 people said that they support building up around metro stations. 69% of people said that they support growing along bus corridors. 68% supported adding housing in downtown specifically. So we took these, we put them in our future land use map, which I'll get to in a second, or what we call the FLUM for short. And yeah, we'll see the results soon. So in this phase, we've also in this phase as part of this comprehensive plan, we have also introduced a new concept, which is the concept of place types, which we didn't really have in previous comprehensive plans. So in terms of place types, you'll see this diagram on the right here that will show you the different components of a place type. Where previously we've looked at areas by land use, or by, I'll say, just high density residential, for example, as to how to refer to an area. Now we're looking at more than the density. We're still looking at building form and density, but we're also looking at land use, connectivity. So how, what the streetscape looks like, how it connects within a certain neighborhood and to other neighborhoods in the district, and different types of public spaces and amenities that are available to people who live, work, or visit a certain space. So that gives us more of a comprehensive look of what the type of the place is and what the experience of a person is being there beyond just the typical density language. This is a snip from our FLUM from 2021. So this is our last comprehensive plan amendment, which took place in 2021. And this slide shows an example of how this is going to look like when it incorporates place types. It's just an example. There's a whole FLUM with place types that will come later in the presentation, but it'll show an example of readability. We have all these cross hatches. They were hard to read. And now it's more of clear place types. And the next few slides are going to be the list of place types that we have. So some of the previous, the previous legend that we had translates on a one-to-one basis. So small scale residential neighborhood used to be low density residential, for example. We have moderate scale residential neighborhood, and this includes row houses, townhomes, and small apartments up to 4 stories tall. We have medium scale residential neighborhoods. Those include mid-rise apartment buildings that are typically up to 8 stories tall, and then large scale residential neighborhoods that are high-rise apartments that are 8 stories or more. Or I will say over 8 stories. This new category we're calling center place types, and it has 3 centers. So we have neighborhood center, urban center, and regional center. And the meaning is kind of in the name. It's typically mixed use buildings for all of these 3. So this is our previous mixed use or commercial use. And you can have residential there, obviously, but this place type allows for mixed use buildings for that will serve this certain space at the neighborhood level. The urban center has more of a draw. I'll say by urban center, we mean from around the city. Regional is going beyond, and that has a draw from the region. That third slide includes other place types, and they do look a little similar to what we had before, but they're a bit more expanded. So we have an institutional area. So these are public and semi-public buildings. We have industrial areas. These are spaces that are used for PDR and government services as well. And we have parks and rec and open space, which is pretty self-explanatory. And an additional place type that we're including, and we're kind of counting more as a modifier, so it could be paired with other place types, is the mixed use maker modifier. And this is just for us to be able, as the picture shows here, to allow for small scale user spaces, small scale maker spaces to take place around the city, either as part of another typology or a standalone building, to have some additional support here, especially for small businesses. In terms of the future land use map, I'll share a little about that, but there's also an appendix that I won't go over today about how we put this together at the end of this presentation. So when this presentation is available, you can take a look at it and then see, if there's any additional thing you want to inquire about, feel free to email me. I'll either respond myself or I'll put you in touch with someone from the DC 2050 team to better respond to your question. But when it comes to the future land use map, so this map, it doesn't automatically translate to development. It really is meant to be step one in guiding zoning decisions, which will eventually lead to development. So we have this slide here that will kind of break down how that works. Our comprehensive plan, basically this plan that the Office of Planning usually puts together with input from residents, ANCs, other agencies that are at the district or the federal level. It establishes this future land use map, or FLUM, and all the policies that go along with it. It's approved. The plan is approved by DC Council, and so is the FLUM. And then whenever a developer comes in, the property owner or the Office of Planning, and wants to, rezone or redevelop a space, they can refer to this FLUM, and it acts as the basis for that zoning change. And obviously, there's a public hearing process, and it's not just like an automatic thing. And eventually the zoning commission approves that, and that is when redevelopment can start, construction drawings can be put together, and eventually something can be built. So it is a pretty complex process with a lot of input, but this is the first step in it. So in this new comprehensive plan, we are planning for growth. Right now in the district, we have 325,000 households. We estimate that the district will have 441,000 households by 2050, which is the length, as soon as this plan is adopted by council, fingers crossed, it'll serve us until 2050. That's why we're calling it DC 2050. Should have mentioned that in the beginning. So we will need all this space for these new households, and that's what the plan is planning for. And I guess keeping that number in mind, the 441,000 households, we are also, as part of a study that we did, we identified that we need 460,000 households to keep housing costs from rising relative to inflation. So that is why the comprehensive plan right now goes beyond that number. We already have 446,000 households that are planned for as part of the 2021 Comp Plan Amendment and FLUM. And DC 2050 is adding an additional capacity of approximately 25,000. It's 24,400. Which brings that number above what is required. So that means it's a 45% increase in households over the next 25 years. And you'll see in this little graph, it'll show you the existing households, the capacity for new households that is, you know, possible due to the 2021 flum, and the additional increase that is being proposed as DC 2050, as part of DC 2050. So this is our future land use map, and I guess since we have a bit of time, I'll just go over really quickly how we put it together. And you have all the place types listed here, except for the mixed use maker modifier, which, like I said, could be an add-on. So this future land use map will basically, when in 2021 we had mainly grown around metro stations, based on what we heard from the community and to find additional space to grow, we're also growing along priority bus corridors in areas that have not grown as much over the past 20 years. We are also growing along other bus corridors that aren't priority bus corridors or bus routes, I'll say. And then we're also factoring in, and again, this is very generic, there's additional slides in the end that we'll get into more detail. In addition to that, we have factored in areas that have a high risk of displacement in the district. And in those areas, we have not added additional growth. Or I will say the better way of phrasing this is we're adding additional density in areas that need it and support it. So for example, so we've been selective in where we add density. For example, in areas where we have existing grocery stores or planned grocery stores, we are adding additional density over there to support those uses, because it's always kind of a give and take between you want to have amenities for people that live there, but you also don't want to displace them. So that was our approach basically for handling that. Ward 2 specifically, since we're in Ward 2, there is a potential for 14,000 additional households by 2050. Ward 2, especially the downtown area, is pretty built up, so we did our best to find space for additional households. And we will have 91% of households that are within access to high frequency transit. This is a decrease from a decrease of 2% from households that are in Ward 2 that are within access to high frequency transit, but I wouldn't take that as a negative thing, because the ward is already pretty well connected by transit and it is pretty built up. So I would take that as a plus because we are adding additional housing. And then 39% of homes in the ward are family sized, and we look at family sized as homes that are 2 bedrooms or more. So by 2050, we will add those 14,000 additional households, and 2,520 of those households will be dedicated affordable units. And we have our formula for how we got there. This map on the right here shows what we're calling change areas. These change areas are not all absorbing those 14,000s. They're kind of spread out, but I will say that they're the areas with the most change, where there will be the most increase in density. Change area 1.2 is around U Street. We're adding 100 housing units and 100 jobs. Change area 2.1, we're adding 200 housing units and 1,200 jobs. And change area 2.2, which is the Southwest Federal Center, we're adding 200 housing jobs and 900 jobs. So I'll skip this slide because obviously the survey, we're 2 days post-survey, apologize for that. But there is still a way to keep in touch, and you can sign up for the DC 2050 newsletter if you haven't already. This will be a clickable link once you have access to the survey. You can also visit dc2050.com, which is our website where we post all of our materials and our updates and any upcoming meetings that we have. Follow us also on socials as well, Instagram, X, and Blue Sky. And yeah, I'll just stop here. Or if it's easier for you, you can just email me directly and I'll take your question to the right person. But yeah, I'll stop here for questions. And then that last section, like I said, the resources will show you how the flum was created.
Thank you so very much, Rita. I appreciate you being here tonight and presenting this very important process. as it launches for 2050. Whew, it seems like a long time away, but it's not really. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the presentation? Go ahead.
Hi, Rita. It was great to
Hi.
meet you in person on Saturday.
Yeah, you too.
It was a great presentation there also. About the 14,000 in Ward 2. Yeah.
Mhm.
In my SMD alone, I have currently 9 office conversions in process. And if all of those execute by 2030, that will add 14, almost 1,500 households all by itself.
Yeah.
But hardly any of them are what I would consider affordable. Most of them are at market rate, and some are very, the only by where they're required. They're at 80% of average median income. Have you all thought through? I mean, you're talking about 2,520 dedicated affordable units. I don't know what that means, whether it's 30, 50, or 80% of AMI. And that's a fairly low number compared to the 14,000. How can we move this composition to be more inclusive of more affordable household configurations?
Yeah, so I mean, unfortunately, I don't have like breakdown for buildings, but I can connect with the team after and maybe send some numbers so that, we're looking at something and talking
That
about
would
it.
be great. You had a slide, I think, 1 or 2 back that had a like stacked bar. Also, if
Yes. This is
uh,
citywide though.
the yellow and orange, if we had some idea of what the expectation is for the affordability breakout of those households.
Okay. So thank you for your comment. I can follow up. So we'll do the affordability breakout citywide and also for Ward
For
2.
Ward 2.
Okay. Um, and I'll follow up with you by email.
Great. I also want to, I'm going to steal something that I heard Commissioner Groth say on Saturday, which I think is really important. If we talk about preventing displacement from occurring, it's really important that these housing units that we're building are able to be rented or owned by people who actually work and do service jobs in the city as well. So our restaurant folks, our service workers, the cleaners and hotels and things like that. All of this is really important if we're going to be looking at this comprehensively. These people are going to be helping to grow our city and support our city, they should be able to live downtown as well. So I just want to put that out there. So inclusionary clauses, I know we're currently exempt in downtown from inclusion criteria, but that's something that we need to re-examine as we add all these new buildings downtown.
I'll return the favor and amplify one of your ideas from Saturday, which just flew out of my head. What was it? About building codes. That in mixed use areas, if Department of Building had modifications to the residential building code requirements in mixed use areas, specifically for sound dampening, that if we really want people to move into a highly activated space, they need to be able to live and have the zoning, by the way, also to support being residents in a mixed use area. They should have the same residential protections as any other resident in the District of Columbia. But if the physical building codes could support sound mitigation, that would make it much more attractive for people to live and work downtown.
And I have one comment, if I may.
Yes.
Jim Swart here. Not only the sound mitigation issues for residents is important, but also the safety and security and protection, I guess. And that, as we convert many of our offices that are no longer really offices, they're vacant. I think we need to focus more on what works in residential areas to make things smoother, to make things better for the residents, and copy those for ourselves.
And this is Thomas Lee, and for 2CO3, and I also have a comment to make. As you go forward in this process, I know that you may not be getting into the granularity of what type of housing or what type of high-rise housing or urban housing that you have, but I do want to make a pitch for ways for the city to encourage more what's the word? Private owner housing that can be owned and not just rented. I know that, generally the individuals here that are, renting tend to be more transient. And they come and work, and that's wonderful. But every year when it's time to renegotiate their lease, it's almost like it forces them to decide whether they're going to stay or go. Whereas if there were more homeownership opportunities in the city, a young family, a young couple could set down roots and not face that annual pressure of having to renegotiate that lease. And also it gives young families an opportunity to grow their equity and establish, long-term roots and long-term wealth opportunities in equity growth in the city. So I again want to make a pitch for more homeownership opportunities in the city, especially downtown in these high-rise buildings.
And if I could just say, Jim Swart here, one more thing. Obviously, with more families coming into the area, and I think that is great. We'll need a few more schools as well.
That makes sense. I think schools and public spaces, like including playgrounds,
Yes.
daycare.
And teenager spaces,
Yes.
not just younger children playgrounds, but also safe and appropriate youth spaces.
Writing that down. Good points.
Grocery stores, dog parks, which we do not have anywhere downtown, and we're adding 14. Well,
I like the
world.
idea of grocery stores.
Yes. All right. If you, I've been asked in the chat if you would be willing to put your contact information or the contact for the plan, that would be great. I have some folks that are want to email particular things to you. So that would be excellent if you are able to do that. And thank you
Sure.
so much for being here.
Yeah,
And
thank
we
you
look
for
forward-
having me.
And we look forward to hearing updates as they emerge.
All right, will do. Thank you. And I'll follow
you.
up by
Yeah.
email also.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank
you. Thank you. Now we're gonna, as we indicated at the beginning of the meeting, we're going to jump to one of our last items of the evening, and this is a request for a letter of support for a resolution preserving and improving the Chinatown lease incentive program and making it more accessible to legacy businesses that are integral to the Chinatown community. And we have Justin. I
Justin.
knew it was, I knew it was, we're going to say it wrong. We have Justin here tonight to present this, please, if you could. And I believe the mic is on.
Yeah, I
Move
can
the
speak briefly on
camera.
this, and happy to field any
Move the
questions
camera.
afterwards. So essentially, in Mayor Bowser's proposed budget in May, one of the cut items was the Chinatown Lease Incentive Grant Program, which was established in 2025. So this year, 2026, is the second year that it's being implemented. Um, it essentially is a program that provides grants to businesses, small businesses in Chinatown that preserve and enhance the cultural heritage of the area, um, who are signing long-term leases to have funds to either make tenant improvements to their space or abate rent payments. So we're essentially we're trying to advocate for council to first preserve the program at the very least. And the second part of it is actually improving the program so it is actually more accessible to businesses, small businesses, especially those that you know, have never applied to a grant before and need support doing that, or need translation assistance. So a couple of the things that we shared with you today, one of it, sorry, one of them is I believe it was the amendment itself, which we submitted to Councilmember Fruman's office, who oversees the department, the deputy mayor's office, DEMPED, that oversees the grant. So we submitted that to his office. We are looking for a letter of support of that amendment. Some of the things that it includes is one, designating a specific liaison within the mayor's office that can manage the outreach of the grant program, because what we found is that government outreach is hard. Government outreach is really hard. Not a lot of the times the businesses don't really know about this grant program until very last minute. They don't have the necessary supports that they need to be able to finish the application process. And the another portion that we were asking for is one of these the expansion of the eligible uses of the grant. Um, as of right now, originally the grant was only for rent payments. Most recently, they expanded it to include tenant improvements, but we really want it to be, broadly speaking, anything that supports small businesses in supporting their operations, except for executive bonuses. And this is consistent with language in other grant programs that have been administered by the city. So we basically want, tenants to be able to use it for marketing, event production. If they wanted to do something like, if they want to, for example, hire a lawyer to negotiate their lease, that would also be an acceptable use, which actually isn't a currently acceptable use in the program right now, which seems commonsensical, but that's just how statute is sometimes. And the other part of this program, the other part of this amendment includes some language changes. Currently, the reason that we removed some of the language out of the commercial property owners is because DEMPED simply doesn't administer that portion of the grant. All of the grant has been directed towards business owners rather than property owners as of yet. And there aren't actually any incentives for property owners to apply in statute currently, which is why we removed that language. It's more of a redundancy than anything. It's not anything that significantly changes how the grant is administered. And this last section was around the most recent edits to the most recent edits submitted last year around an amendment to the hotel to anything tax abatement program. We included some language to strengthen the enforcement of the enforcement of the concessions that were made not concessions, the promises that were made by the developer on the 8th Street block. They essentially added the amendment language, working with Brooke Pinto's office to have to ensure that they were able hiring some businesses in the program and donating money to the lease incentive grant program. However, the language itself within the hotel to anything tax abatement program, the enforcement around that is significantly weaker than, for example, the housing in downtown tax abatement program, where, we want to make sure that developers are being good neighbors, that they are if they are to qualify for this tax abatement program and get it, that they are encouraged to do so. And if they don't comply with the things that were written out in the statute, then they don't get the abatement anymore, which I think is very, very straightforward.
Wasn't there a promise also about a grocery, an Asian grocery?
Yes.
in
So
that?
there was that amendment did include it included a provision that the developer would lease to some sort of quote unquote Asian market. It's kind of vague language, but there's not really much you can do in statute there. What we're really just trying to do is strengthen the enforcement. Also, we increase the donation amount to a percentage amount of the actual abatement instead of a single one-time donation. Yeah.
So it'd be an ongoing donation
Yes, ongoing based on the
based on the abatement, not on
abatement. Yeah.
not on upfront
Yeah.
charge. Okay.
Yeah. But so in conclusion, sorry, we understand the ANC's role in, we're not entirely sure whether ANC supports or doesn't support specific policy proposals by outside individuals or like, organizations like ourselves. So what we're really asking for is one resolution to support the preservation of the program and the improvements that we outline, and then two, uh, if possible, a resolution in support of the amendment language itself, which is also an ongoing negotiation process with the council office, of course, the legislative director, and we've been working with the DC Preservation League as well.
Great, thank you. Well, why a non-competitive process?
So which process, which what are you referencing here?
I just saw that it struck anytime that it said a competitive process throughout the let me just find it. Now I can't find it. Sorry.
Do a search.
Oh yeah, I can do a search. Oh, what a great idea. Thank you so much.
Well, there's different ways to do a search.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Oops,
not entirely sure. It could be language that was recycled from an older amendment, but I'm not entirely sure which one you're referring to.
Okay, I just was curious.
Yeah, if you were able to pull it up, I can probably
grants to that one stayed, but let me see what happens next. Non-competitive grant.
Non-competitive grant for at least one applicant that is a legacy business in 2027. So that language, I'm actually not entirely sure. We may have included the non-competitive portion simply because that was language that was used in other grant programs that had like this sort of set aside for this set aside portion.
Set aside, right.
For the set aside portion. But I'm sure that it would be ironed out by the legislative director in terms of whether that is specifically whether that specific set aside portion would be non-competitive. But typically, I assume if there are multiple grantees applying for that.
Well, if there are
Um,
multiple legacy businesses
so
applying,
Yeah, for example, if there are multiple legacy businesses for applying, I think it would probably have to be competitive. But I assume what we are meaning here is that because it is a set aside, that
that
that's not
non-legacy
competing with
businesses would not be eligible for the
that's
set
not
aside.
yeah, sorry, that this set aside is not competing with the other folks that are non-legacy businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And when you're talking legacy, you're talking businesses that have been in the Chinatown community for a long time? Or are you just talking about non-national corporate chains?
So this language that we used for the national 20 plus years and not a national corporate chain is the definition that the DC Preservation League uses,
Okay.
which is also present in the MOU that was signed between the Capital One Arena developers and during the Section 106 process that was triggered
Got it.
for the establishment of a different pot of money for legacy businesses also. So it's used from that. It's also consistent with other legacy business programs around the country and the exploration. I believe there was an exploration done by the Department of Small Businesses for around legacy businesses several years back, but nothing ever really came of it.
Got it. And just one more question from me. Has this particular year, this
Mhm.
past year when it was in effect, has the fund been used?
So the funds last year were dispersed to three awardees. I assume that they have been getting their funds.
Okay.
I assume that they've been getting their funds. There were 15 applicants this year. We actually just had an info session about it today.
Okay.
So they're still in the application process. It's due the 22nd.
22nd.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mhm.
Terrific.
So there is still money this fiscal year.
There's money for fiscal year 26, but
Yeah.
it's planning on being cut 27.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Um,
When I look at the Mayor Bowser's Ward 2 2027 budget highlights,
Mhm.
there's talk here about 4 million to fund the transformation of Chinatown Alley into a pedestrian-friendly corridor to support small businesses, food vendors, and culturally relevant retail opportunities.
This is for 2027.
Yes,
Um,
nothing to do with
2027
this program.
I believe that must be a separate program administered.
Okay.
Generally, what we've seen from Bowser, I can't speak to this particular one. I think I may have seen it, but I'm not entirely sure. Is that a lot of these are generally activations budgets that go towards like event programming done by the bid and et cetera.
Businesses.
Yeah, or
or
pop-up
anything.
businesses. Yeah.
That program you're talking about right now for that the revitalization of that alley is really to create a walkable alley, and there's a lot of opportunity for retail component in that alley. And that's not an activations budget. That is not for activations.
Okay, but it's not focused around the legacy businesses or the lease incentive program.
No, one has nothing to do with the other. One is
Got it.
specifically for that. It's capital funding for that alley improvements.
So I would like to move that we send a letter of support asking for the preservation of the Chinatown lease initiative and include language indicating that the existing amendment should have improved language to make it more accessible for legacy businesses to apply and receive these funds.
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lee. All those in favor? So 4 of 4 commissioners in favor of that. So we will get that off and we should send that to Councilmember Furman
Yes.
And to
Councilmember Furman
DEMPED.
and to Demped.
And to Demped. I think
Could
that
I
would be perfect.
put a little asterisk here,
Mhm, sure.
if I may? I'd like to see the coordination with the Chinatown revitalization group.
Yeah,
be
I would,
part of
I mean,
this.
I would be more than happy to, though our communication with them is just, it's hard to tell what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try to work on that.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, since you're our liaison, Commissioner Short, maybe you can help strengthen that connection.
Oh, I am. I wouldn't have known that without you telling me.
I was just acknowledging your role.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So,
Thanks so much.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Justin.
Your contact information is
Terrific. We're going to move forward.
Michael, just a question. Are you going to draft the letter of support? I took notes also.
Yeah, I can draft
Okay.
if you like.
I have probably more detail than you want.
Yeah.
but
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm glad and I'll send it
Well, I
over
took
for
some-
you all. Yeah,
took some
for you to look
notes.
at.
Okay.
Great.
so this would be CC could this or be copied to?
Yep.
No.
We will definitely do
Full
that.
view, obviously, yes, but it's addressed to Councilmember Fruman.
Yes. Thank you so
And
much.
the committee, I'll look that up, which committee oversees DEMPED.
So he's the chair of the Health and Human Services Committee. So
And DEMPED's under that?
yeah, because Councilmember McDuffie retired, so it got absorbed.
Yeah. Okay, we will move forward with community announcements.
Good night.
First up, we have MPD 2.
Thank you.
I know that Lieutenant Garvin is not on with us this evening. Is there anybody from MPD 2 with us? If not, how about MPD 1? Okay,
They're probably all super busy getting ready for this weekend.
yes.
Oh, joy.
Terrific.
USC fight.
Yeah. It's Sunday.
Right. Just glancing
And the
here.
Big swath of my neighborhood is closed.
Make sure I'm not
Lieutenant
missing
Burgee from
anybody.
Transit Police, I'm here.
Oh, yes, you're here. Let's go for
You're
you.
next.
You're
All right.
up.
You're up.
From
So I couldn't
our-
make it in person. I do normally come out. I got held up
Yes.
in Montgomery County earlier, so not too terribly much to report. We did have a little bit of a spike last month. So far this month is looking a lot better for us. Even with the spike that we had last month, of our serious crimes, we only have 2 that were open. The rest of them were actually closed by arrest, which is just a testament to my officers being at gallery all the time. So we are still maintaining our presence there. At a minimum, we have 2 officers at Gallery Place at all times. We've also been ramping up our enforcement on the buses. This is a system-wide effort spearheaded by our general manager. So for the last 2 weeks, we've been doing a lot. We call them bus heights. It's high intensity targeted enforcement is what it stands for. But essentially, for a couple of hours, we get some officers to a specific location. Our primary is deterrence to get people to pay on the bus. But secondarily, if people don't want to cooperate, they get a ticket or if we have to press it further, we do. Obviously, though, we've been pushing for deterrence and just getting people to tap that card when they get on the bus. It was a very successful initiative. We did have a large number of bus heights at 7th and H because that is one of our locations where we do experience a lot of fare evasion on the bus. So you may have seen our folks out there wearing their bright yellow vests if you were walking around between. I think we ran them from 3 until 7 typically. So outside of that, I don't really have much to report out on. Like I said, this month is going pretty well. Our presence is good and strong. And of last month, we had a lot of closures. So we're just going to keep plugging away and brace for all the special events coming and make the best of it. That's all I got for you. If anybody has any questions, let me know.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the update, and thanks for for doing that enforcement of fare invasions. I think that is so important, especially as the agency is struggling with budget numbers, always important to do. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the lieutenant?
Lieutenant Jim Swart here. I don't have a question for you. I just want to say that people in my area really did appreciate the teen curfew that was a last moment sort of thing for the weekend, and people felt much more safe on the subway and on the metro and in our area as well. So appreciate all that you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Any questions for WMATA? All right, then we will move forward. Thank you so much. Good
you.
luck with all your activities over the next couple of weeks.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Thank you for your service. We'll move forward with the Office of the Mayor, the Ward 2 Mayor's Liaison. And I believe I saw folks from the mayor's office here. Is Miss Williams here? Ah, there she is. Jamaica.
Can you hear me?
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. Again, my name's Jamaica Williams, and I'm with the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services. I only have a few announcements today. First, district pools are now open. Residents are encouraged to take advantage as we move into the summer months. The Capitol Pride Parade will take place on June 20th at 3 o'clock. The parade will begin near 14th Street and T Street. Also, the Mayor's Office fiscal year 27 Community Development Grant application is due on Monday, June 15th, 2026 at 5, and eligible community-based organizations serving DC residents may apply for up to $100,000. And then my last announcement is I would like to share an update from DC Health's Rodent and Vector Control Division. DC Health will be conducting a targeted rodent intervention or blitz in the Chinatown area over a 3-week period. The effort will focus on the alleys behind 5th and 6th Streets and I and H Street, and will utilize several rodent control methods, including baiting and fertility control measures. DC Health staff will closely monitor the area throughout the intervention and conduct follow-up abatement as needed. To support this effort, DC Health will host a community meeting on Friday, June 12th from 12 to 12:45. Residents are encouraged to complete a pre-blitz community survey, which I'll put in the chat. I will also put a flyer in the chat too, and a QR code. If you can, please share this information with residents and community stakeholders to help increase participation and awareness. And if residents have any questions, you can contact Mateo Lieb directly, and I'll put his email in the chat too, or the DC Health Rodent and Vector Control Division. And lastly, if anyone has any issues or any concerns that needs to be escalated, please feel free to email me. I'll put my email in the chat too. And thank you, and I hope everyone has a great evening, and I'm here for any questions.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Could you tell me the grant that's out again that you mentioned? Is a grant?
Yes, so it's the Community Development Grant.
Oh, community development. Okay, I missed the development part here. Okay, terrific. That's great. And I did get a telephone message from Mateo about the rat abatement. So that is terrific that is happening. So commissioners, do you have any questions for the mayor's office?
I just have a huge shout out of appreciation for DDOT. Today was an amazing day in my single member district. DDOT was doing sidewalk repair and replacement of many, many trip hazard specific safety issues. So they started yesterday and are doing that this week. I got to be out there and effusively praise the contractors who were pouring concrete at the time. And so, yay, thank you. Specific sidewalks that have been like a 3-inch trip hazard in some places are now fixed.
Terrific. That's great. Any other questions from community for the mayor's office? All right. It's a quiet group tonight. That's good. We will move forward then. Thank you so much. And
Thank you. Have a
great-
good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will move forward with the Office of Ward 2 Council Member Brooke Pinto. I will get her name right. And I believe I saw Daya on here.
Hi everyone, I'm Dia from Councilmember Pinto's office. I apologize in advance. I'm getting over a bit of a cold, so I'm sorry if I have to stop and cough.
Not a problem.
Okay, perfect. Can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So firstly, it's good to see everyone. I will start talking firstly about the budget. The council took their first vote on the fiscal year 27 budget today, and the second vote will be on June 23rd. Chairman Mendelson added an additional 40 million to the budget, mainly by using funds from our city's federal tax decoupling that the CFO was initially not allowing the city to spend, and by using another 150 million from the reserves against the CFO's advice. Those funds will be used to reverse any major cuts the mayor had proposed to things like childcare pay equity fund for daycare workers, housing vouchers for unhoused residents, access to justice and victim services, legal support, and insurance for the people who don't qualify for Medicaid but don't have employer coverage. Further, the council member introduced new legislation to establish public safety facility modernization plans for our fire and EMS and police stations across the district. The bill would require the mayor to submit a 10-year master facilities plan for these buildings every 10 years, with the first starting this December. We know many of our fire stations and police stations are in unacceptable shape and are not healthy or efficient for our first responders. Next, this summer will continue to be an exciting time in DC with major events celebrating the 250th anniversary of our nation. The DC government has a helpful website that is more geared towards DC residents and businesses. It's 250.dc.gov. I can put that in the chat. With a timeline of all major events, federal and local, that also will have traffic closure and transit updates posted before each event. As you all must know, voting is underway for June 16th primary election. If you did not receive your mail ballot, please contact the Board of Elections immediately or make plans to vote in person, either at an early vote center or on election day. Early vote centers from open today from open today through Sunday, June 14th from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Election day they're open at Marie Reed or Stead Park, Georgetown, and the West End Library, as well as other locations around the district. As a reminder, you can vote at any location no matter where you live, and you can use the Vote Center or Dropbox locator map on the Board of Elections website. That's everything I have for today, so I'm happy to take any questions now.
Commissioners, do you have questions for Councilmember Pinto's office?
I have a question.
Sure.
Jim Swart here. I know that Brooke was pushing for the Sound Mitigation Act
Yes.
to be funded.
Yes, I wrote it in my talking points, and I just straight up forgot to say it. Councilmember Pinto is still working to fund the amplified sound law. It is proving to be difficult, so I highly encourage you to continue your advocacy for that. If you can, reach out to at-large members and the chairman.
All right, I will let everybody know that. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I forgot to say it.
Thank you.
Might I add, Jim, could we put together a letter of support for funding the sound mitigation, at least as a pilot for downtown? Because I think that it has been it's been pushed out of the way, and I think that if we can, as Daya was saying, if we can push and advocate to our council members, that may be something that would be wise to do.
I can certainly draw that out of the documents we've already sent.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah,
So-
so get that to everybody.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that we draft a, I'm not sure if I call it a letter of support. Did I call it a letter of support?
Yeah,
Okay, we would have,
this isn't a policy or.
right.
Or
Right. So we,
intellectual thing. This is a letter of support.
yeah, so I move that that Commissioner Schwartz draft a letter of support asking council members to include funding for the Sound Mitigation Act in the 2027 budget, at least on a pilot basis.
Sure, and we can do that by narrowing it down to our ANC.
Yeah.
All right.
Or within the however you want to define the downtown area.
Yeah. Defining it to down,
Or you.
ANC 2C.
Yeah, ANC 2C
that's
is
fine.
fine.
Yeah, defining it to ANC 2C.
Sure.
Is there a second?
1 second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lee, and all those in favor? So 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that.
Thank
So
you.
we'll get that off.
Will-
Thank you.
Will we see the draft before it goes out?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Send it around. That'd be great. Awesome. Thank you so much. Any other questions for Councilmember Pinto's office? I don't see any hands, so we will move forward. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, everyone.
Council member, I assume will be leading a Ward 2 contingent in the Pride Parade.
Yes, and I will be there as well.
So will I.
Sounds good.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.
You too. Take care. We will move forward with the downtown DC bid. And I saw Lucas on. I'm not sure if I saw Eloise.
Hey,
On-
good afternoon, everyone.
There's Lucas. Hey.
Good,
And with
good,
his
good.
I voted sticker. So thank you.
Hey, I went in early, although I made a very rookie mistake, and maybe I'm sharing too much, but so just make sure that you have the right party, because then you won't be able to vote if you don't have the right party on your ballot. That's all I'm
Ah,
gonna
so-
say.
Correct.
Maybe that's just my rookie mistake. Maybe no one else will make that mistake. I'm going to share my presentation. Eloise is out this week. She got into this emerging leadership fellowship, so she's there representing and enjoying herself.
Go
Good
Eloise.
for her.
Right. Let me share, and I'll share my. Here we go. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So I like to, I always like to start these meetings off with just talking about a lot of our clean and safe data. the trash collected, I think, is one of a good measure because I think we all take out our trash at home, so you have a good understanding. So when I tell you that we took out about 20,756 bags for a total of 124,000 pounds of trash, you have an understanding of what that means to really keep our downtown bid area clean. Clean and safe go hand in hand. So it's very important that we keep our streets clean. Our team is really responsible for a lot of our emptying the trash cans, keeping our curb lines, which also really help with rodents. One of the things we've been doing a lot in this area, and even though it costs a lot of more money to do this, regardless of the level of trash in garbage cans, we are constantly emptying out the trash bags because what that does is if there's no food at all or no residue, it really helps with the prevention of rodents. So that's something we've been doing now for about 6 months as a way to really help reduce the rodent issue that with some of the challenges we've been having. Also, a lot of the construction that's happening around the Capital One Arena really also helps or hurts with some of the challenges that we have around rodents. Um, Stickers, posters, graffiti, a lot of like the political ads, not ads, but the political graffiti or posters that you see, our team removes them. Even though you see 179 closed cases, a lot of those can be two, three, four items. So that's really about 500 to 700 different items that we're removing on a monthly basis. We spend about 1,260 hours in our Chinatown corridor. Really, we have coverage throughout the entire bid, but a lot of the that area is very busy. So a lot of our focus really is on that entire Chinatown area as one of the primary focuses of the bid. And then that shifts also, right? Because as different events come, different seasons, our team has to adjust and provide that level of support for much of downtown. We just finished up a lot of our planting season. Will the last item that we'll be installing starting tomorrow is our hanging baskets that you'll see around downtown. We took a different approach this year really with our landscaping because landscaping is really challenging. So we've outsourced our entire landscaping program to our landscapers, Level Green. So not only do they plant, they weed, they remove plants, but they're also doing our watering and our feeding, which actually has really helped. Even though we have a drought right now, if you ride around the entire bid, our plants are looking very, very green, and they're doing very well. And I think that's a new approach that we're taking. Really, and even though our hanging baskets are going in tomorrow, we've actually been growing them for a month already. So as we install them, they're going to be completely full, and they're going to look really nice. Our focus this year was really white and red. There's not a lot of blue plants. So white and red is really a lot of the focus that you'll see throughout the entire bid. Um, Weed whacking is a big focus right now because there's a lot of areas that we're taking care of, and then our public activations and our partnerships continue to be a big focus. We have a ton of activations that are ongoing right now. The big focus right now is our FIFA watch party that we're doing in partnership with with DC United. We have June 12th, 13th, and 14th at Franklin Park. We have a festival there. On Friday, we're showing the USA Paraguay game. On Saturday, and that's at 9 p.m. The gates open at 6 on Saturday. And this is all free. So please, if you're interested, we'd love to have you come. Saturday, we're showing the Brazil and Croatia game. And then on Sunday, we have 3 games. So we have a weekend full of activities on top of the UFC activities that we have at the White House and around the mall. On Thursdays, we have our live music series at Anthem Row. Saturdays, we're doing our fitness at Franklin Park starting June 20th. And then lunchtime at Franklin Park, we have live music and games. And then next weekend, Capitol Pride Parade and Festival Weekend. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Lot of action from here through really August, with hopefully a lot of tourism and also a lot of our locals coming downtown and enjoying everything that downtown has to offer. Our public activations, we have public art. We have 2 new public pieces. Yesterday, Maylee installed the prism, and then as a tribute to the celebration of America 250, she created this flag-like prism installation with 50 stars. And if you could guess what number the star at the bottom is, hopefully one day will be the 51st star on the American flag. And then on the right is our Mabel Lee
Cool.
mural that was just finished up in our vacant lot, and it's on the wall of Chinatown Garden located at 618 H Street. And we did this in partnership with 1882 Foundation. And we'll have the reveal on July 1st. It really has changed that entire corner. We have the Shepherd Ferry mural, and now the Mabel Lee mural here, and it's beautiful as you walk by. Please enjoy it. And we hope to continue to really use public art as a beautification tool, but also as a storytelling tool. And I think that's something that we've really leaned in on, particularly around that lot as a social impact and social voice art installations. And we're very proud of this work. And it was a great partnership with 1882. And then our safety team, continues to really be working and just really putting a lot of focus on the technology and utilizing the technology to capture the stories, the daily observations. We had to take a break from our safety team as we were rethinking a couple components, and they'll be back on the ground on Monday. And that's, a quick wrap up of a lot of the work that we're doing right now. Really just getting ready for not only the summer ahead, but we're already starting to plan the holiday market. We had the DC State Fair, Art All Night. So there's a ton of stuff coming down the pipeline. We're really leaning in on our public activations as a way to draw people into downtown to really create economic opportunities for our stakeholders.
Thank you so much, Lucas. I appreciate your update. And I just want to say I saw the Prism on Saturday. I think it was Sunday, maybe Sunday.
Yeah,
Monday?
it was Monday.
Monday. It was Monday. Yes, I loved it. I loved it yesterday.
Yeah.
It was just yesterday. Oh my gosh, seems
Yeah.
like so long ago. I saw it yesterday as I walked by there, and it looks great. And Commissioner Groth and I stopped and admired the Mabel Lee Memorial, which is super, super gorgeous. Looking forward to that opening on
Did
July.
you say July 1 or July 4?
July 1st. Yeah.
July 1.
and-
Okay, great.
yep.
What time?
I believe at 10, I'll send you I've added you all to an invite, so you should be getting an invite for
Okay,
that.
excellent.
Awesome.
We'd love to have you join us. Really, I mean, her story is so powerful.
Yes.
She fought for the rights for women to vote, and even when women got the right to vote, she was not able to vote because of the Chinese Exclusionary Act of 1882. And I mean, her story has been so powerful, and we're really proud to have been a part of that project.
Yeah, the photos do not do the mural justice.
No.
Being there in person is very impactful.
And her eyes
Or-
like she's looking at you.
Yes,
It's amazing.
I know
this
the
is a
artist,
powerful woman.
Jeff Huffington is the artist, and he's actually like, I mean, he does portraits. That's his thing. But like,
Yeah.
what he makes him so remarkable is that he's actually able to do portraits in that large scale.
Yeah,
And the details that
Mind-blowing.
someone, yeah, he was very it was really nice to work with the entire team on this project.
Awesome.
And Lucas, if I could say, this is Jim Swart, but having been by that area quite often and seeing the mural from its very beginning, I thought it was gorgeous when it first appeared. And then all the layers of mural artwork
Yeah.
have been so enormously wonderful. And that, together with the Shepherd Ferry mural as well, that's really a grand area.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I think that lot has an opportunity to be a place where we could showcase these powerful stories through, and just have it as a place to have social messaging of some of the things that are so important to all of our communities, really. Right? This is really about vote, right? It's your voice, right? Particularly at a time when we have elections coming up in DC, right? Like, we have the first time in 12 years we're gonna have a new mayor. So like, we have this path ahead of us that is unknown. And I think that, go out there and vote and let your voice be heard.
Awesome. Any other
Lucas,
questions?
Sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, Lucas, is there a plaque, an explanatory plaque by the mural?
Yeah, we installed it on Friday of last week. So if you walk by, you scan the QR code, and it takes you to a landing page on 1882 Foundation's website that shares her story and her importance to really, like, I mean, look, we're telling the stories of people that have impacted 250 years of America, right? And I think that's what also like made this mural so powerful, particularly at this point in time where we're celebrating 250 years of so many different parts of America and the cultures that have impacted who we are today.
Right.
Terrific.
And how is the woolly mammoth involved in this?
Wooly was not involved in this one. They were involved in the Shepherd
They were
Ferry.
with the Shepherd Ferry, okay.
Yeah, the 1882 Foundation and the downtown DC bid worked together on the Mabel Lee mural.
Terrific.
And this is really
Thank you.
Ted Gong's vision, by the way. Ted had been talking to me about Mabel Lee for probably about a year and a half. So this is really his vision that we helped, that we were part of bringing to life.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Any other questions for
Yeah,
the downtown bid?
Lucas, you mentioned during your presentation, you mentioned something about the White House, about an event happening at the White House. What was the reference?
For the UFC fight.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the UFC fight. So there's two components to that. The actual fight is happening on the White House lawn, and then the viewer zone is at what is it called? Ellipse,
Yeah, on the
ellipsis on the ellipse. Yes.
Thank you.
Lots of street closures.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going, right?
Awesome.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, you should come to Franklin Park for FIFA this weekend.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
you
you. I'll
being
stop.
here, and thank you for the update.
Absolutely. Let me stop sharing my screen
Are
for
there
you.
any other community announcements before we move forward? And that's kind of an open question for folks. I would like to then move forward to local events that impact the community. We are removing the Mardi Gras in the district activity for this evening. It's going to be put off until July. I got a text from DC Events asking to postpone that. So we will table that until July. The second item on our consent agenda is the 42nd Army 10 miler scheduled for Sunday, October 11th, 2026. This is a good event that has been going on, of course, for years in the district. And I would like to move that we send a letter of support for the 42nd Army 10 miler.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Swart. And all those in favor? Commissioner Groff, I'm sorry, seconded by Commissioner Groff. All those in favor? So 4 voting in favor of that. I'm so sorry about that. Goofed up there.
I should have squeaked up.
I just squeaked up. Next on our agenda, we're running a little ahead of time, but I see that Matt Menara is on with us this evening. We have an APCA license. This is for Cuba Libre DC LLC, operating as Cuba Libre Restaurant and Rum Bar at 801 9th Street. This is ABRA 082457. A substantial change to their license. Matt, are you on with us?
Yes. Hi, commissioners. Thanks so much for having us.
Most definitely.
This is an application to add a Stritter endorsement to the Cuba Libre restaurant at 801 9th Street. The notice of public hearing placards went up May 22nd, and the protest deadline date is Monday, July 6th. We're essentially keeping the exact same layout and hours that was there since 2020, I believe. But just the design had changed over time. They had thought that they were compliant with the new DDOT regulations. Turns out they're close, but not quite. So we have to apply for both a new Streeter design permit through DDOT and the ABCA Streeter endorsement, how they had everyone sort of reapply again at the end of 2025. So that's where we're here again today for do exactly sort of continue the ongoing operations that were there. The hours that are requesting are 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. during the week and 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. on the weekends. That's the same as that was there before. And then alcohol sales in the Streeter would stop at midnight. Again, same that was there and earlier than the existing Sidewalk Cafe hours of the premises. The application includes a request for 36 seats. That's what's there now, but we know following the the additional revisions that DDOT's going to request, including adding additional jersey barriers and other features, that number is going to come down. We're not sure exactly to what yet, but it certainly won't be any greater than what's there currently, which is 36. And because the DDOT application is pending, and it's my understanding we're going to have approval on that hopefully by middle of this month, we're asking for the ANC support for a stipulated ABC license so we can continue the operations that are existing there now, because currently they're on hold before the end of the petition deadline date in July.
Got it. So I guess I'm confused here. I see that the hours of operation for the Sidewalk Cafe in Summer Garden is 11 to 2 and 11 to 3. And then the proposed hours of sales, service, and consumption for the eatery is 11 to 12. What?
Yes, the Streeter would stop operations earlier than the existing Sidewalk Cafe in Summer Garden. Or excuse me, stop alcohol service earlier than the existing Sidewalk Cafe or Summer Garden.
So they would stop liquor service at midnight but still be open till 2 or 3 on Saturday nights.
Yes, if people want to continue, their dessert or whatever without the alcohol on the table, then they're more than welcome to continue to do that on the street, or they can move to the existing sidewalk cafe or summer garden premises, I suppose.
So you are talking that during the week, the sidewalk streetery area will be open every evening till 2 a.m., except on Saturday when it will be open to 3 a.m.
But did you say that those are the hours they're already operating at?
Correct, yes.
So what was that, Nancy? Those are the hours.
What I understood him to say is that since they first established the streetery during the pandemic
Yeah.
in 2020, that they've been open those hours anyway since then.
Okay.
So do we have any sense of neighbor complaints about noise or
Yes.
what have been the issues?
Well, there have been some, especially by the people who live right across the street from you, at the residence at City Center. Because inside you also have an event space and how that event space that's inside the restaurant, what time does that close? With the music and all that?
I mean, the ABC license allows operation of the interior until 3 a.m. daily and 4 a.m. on the weekends. I can't tell
they
you
have
what
a live, you have
Sorry?
a live entertainment endorsement already for the inside, right?
Correct, yes.
Well, I have not been to the restaurant. Is the summer garden on the back somewhere, or is that also like sidewalk-ish?
I think it's part of the front. It looks at the sidewalk. It's my understanding, and that's just private property that sort of abuts the sidewalk cafe that's there.
Okay, so the summer garden is also effectively in public space and noise.
Correct. Yeah, we're only talking about the streeter endorsement hours.
Streetery right now, yeah,
But they put all the hours and other endorsements on the notice placard anyway.
right.
So, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, let me back up for a second. So the sidewalk cafe and summer garden is different than the streetery.
Correct. They operate longer and later with alcohol service later. The streetery will cease alcohol operations at midnight.
And I'm sorry, did you?
The only thing at
my
play
brain-
right now is the streetery
Yeah, but
on the street.
on the street, yes. Okay, got it. My mind is catching up. I think Commissioner Groth just asked, the sidewalk cafe and summer garden
Is that
is what
the
is
same
on
thing?
the sidewalk.
Yes,
Correct.
I got it.
And the sidewalk area is next to your building, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And someone can be just walking down the sidewalk, correct?
between the streetery and
Yeah.
the sidewalk cafe.
Correct.
this
Yes,
is
the
the
streeter location
streetery
doesn't
and-
impact the unobstructed pedestrian walkway for the sidewalk cafe.
Yeah. Did you realize that the residences at City Center are zoned not business, but they're zoned residential. It's a subzone area. And all the sound, noise, etc., from your outdoor area that's right on that street, a confusing street too, because there's left turn and bicycle lane and all kinds of things like that, that this noise carries at least until 3 a.m. outside.
Well, what's before us right now is only the streetery endorsement, not
I
the
realize that.
not the sidewalk cafe,
Right.
which we may be able to take up at a different time when it comes up.
But
for renewal.
I do see this here. And I'm looking here at the operation of the streetery,
Yes,
which is on the street,
right.
sidewalk.
So even if you're not serving alcohol after midnight, you still have a group of people who've been enjoying themselves all evening up until
Right.
midnight
And they
that are
may,
still going to be there for a couple of
yeah,
hours.
they'll be on that street,
Yes,
streetery.
even closer to the residences at City
Right,
Center
right.
than the sidewalk cafe.
Yeah, I found it difficult to really to bring myself to say I'm in favor of this.
I mean, I must say this is the first that we've been made aware of noise complaints. So I'm happy to bring this to the attention of the restaurant operators and discuss this, whether they're coming from the streetery, sidewalk cafe, or interior with the commissioners, offline in greater detail, because that's certainly not something we want to, be continuing if it's disruptive to any residents nearby.
Yeah, because there are condos just right across the street going up 10 or 11 stories. And the people there work, they have jobs, they do things. And to know that this noise is going to carry over, even though the sales and service end at midnight, that doesn't escape the other things that
How
are
busy
going on.
has the streetery been the last 6 years with those hours? That's my question. If it's sparsely used, then that's a different thing, whether there's a line down the block for those beautiful outdoor spaces.
Sure. And so the outside spaces are definitely used earlier in the evening. In terms of
Yes.
how they continue out through the rest of the evening, some nights are busier than others. It obviously depends on what's happening in the city, but I would not say that they're consistently open that late. We're just trying to keep the hours somewhat similar with the existing Summer Garden Sidewalk Cafe hours, and we just again continue the same hours that were there since from 2020 because it was sort of in our mind why rock the boat, so to speak. So we just continue those hours, but there really hasn't been any sort of late night eating on the street itself versus what's already existing on the Sidewalk Cafe and Summer Garden, if that makes sense. But also given its location, a little bit closer to the residences, that's why we've always had the alcohol service stop there earlier than the Sidewalk Cafe and Summer Garden.
What time does the kitchen close usually or throughout the week?
It has to stay open at least 2 hours before the full service closes. So, because the liquor license allows them to stay open until 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. unless the business would warrant it. Obviously, they're not going to just keep staff there to pay them for extra long. So the restaurant kitchens basically open up until closing. But on a night where there was, say, an event or something afterwards, the restaurant would still stay open until at least 2 hours before closing.
So say at 10:30 or 11 p.m., if there's no one out on either the streetery or the sidewalk cafe, then the kitchen would say, okay, we're going to close. We're not going to take a new diner.
No, I
at
mean,
one of
there
the
could still be
tables.
patrons on the interior to warrant the kitchen being open
Yes.
later.
Yeah, but staffing an outdoor space is even more labor intensive.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, no, it sort of
one thing
winds
that-
down the outdoor seating as it slows down, not to sort of be brought back up again, if that makes sense.
What would be the opposition of closing the streetery at midnight when the alcohol service closes?
I would have to discuss it with the operators, but I'm sure it could be something that we're open to if that would be make the ANC more comfortable to support a stipulated ABC license. I would be happy to talk with the restaurant operators about that. That seems like something that would be amenable to potentially.
Also, haven't we in other situations asked the management to provide a hotline phone number so that a resident could call in and say, hey, I'm trying to get to sleep here. I have a big day tomorrow. Can you calm down the situation? to have a live way for people to communicate that there's a problem.
Sure, yeah, yeah. Let me talk to the owner operators about how to implement something like that. That's certainly a reasonable.
Jim, what do you think of that?
It provides more direct
Having a
line
bad
to get
signal
any
line.
situation rectified.
Bad signal.
Yeah, a hotline number that they would have to have somebody pick up the phone
And,
to take a complaint in real time.
and
I'm not so sure that would work.
Nobody would call it, or that you don't believe that it would be answered, or how would that not work?
What would the result be? They'll do what?
Go outside and see if the situation can be calmed down. I mean, my building has that with the bar in our alley.
And how long?
You call the bartender and they
Yeah.
deal with it.
And how late is that open? 3 a.m.?
Well, there's got to be a manager on duty as long as the restaurant's
No,
open.
but I'd like to see this modified
Okay, great.
to something more.
What would be more reasonable?
Well, they need to talk about it, but if you take a look at streeteries that we know of in our area, I don't know any that have these hours.
That they're open till 2 a.m.
Yeah, 3 a.m. No, I don't know. I haven't seen that. All the others are much more reasonable.
Yeah, I would be concerned as a public safety matter also of having
Yeah.
people outside kind of
Yeah,
exposed.
and they do that with the inside because they have programs and music
Right, there's
and all
live
kinds of
entertainment.
things in there. And when they leave, people go out on the street and residents do not like that.
Yeah.
And we are a
The
residential
noises-
area.
The noise as they're leaving the
Yeah.
inside.
Right. So what compounded was saying, hey, we have this and that's what we told you that our hours are. It doesn't seem reasonable to me.
Mr. Menor, do you know when is the,
July. It has to
July.
be filed by July 6th.
okay, but for the rest of the liquor license, the main license for the establishment, when is the renewal cycle?
March 2028.
Okay, it's a long ways away.
Yeah, they just did the renewal cycle last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't address it then, which is unfortunate.
Barry, just a clarification. Your current hours, where the streetery closes at 2 a.m., but the kitchen closes at 12 midnight, as does alcohol sales. Is that correct?
No. The kitchen hours, just to be clear, because of the restaurant ABC license, they're required to keep the kitchen hours, or the kitchen open until at least 2 hours before closing. That's just the law, is what I was saying. The alcohol service on the streetery ceases at midnight. So either people have to be finished with their alcohol at midnight or move into the inside to continue finishing their cocktail. But they're more than welcome to continue food without alcohol service until later on, the same hours that the Sidewalk Cafe and Summer Garden close.
Okay, but if 2 hours before closing would also be midnight, I think what Commissioner Lee is asking is you could get served a drink at 11:45 and not have any other food available after that. Is that possible?
No, if you're open till 3 a.m., the kitchen would have to be open till at least 1 a.m. But to be clear,
Yeah,
also, when this says
But
midnight,
most of these nights are 2 a.m. closing.
sure, but when it says midnight is the end of alcohol sales and service, that means also the alcohol is taken off the streetery. You can't continue to have alcohol on the streetery. You'd have to either bring that cocktail inside or have the waiter or waitress take it away.
Yeah.
Okay. I just would also be more comfortable if there was food service for people to end their evening with something else in their stomach.
So Matt, what if we did this? What if we, let me just think of how to do this creatively. Could we, I'm trying to think how to do this.
We don't meet again until July 14th.
Yes.
After the deadline.
So could we, Commissioner Swart, could we send a letter of support for a stipulated license that stops at 12 a.m. For the eatery, for the
Streetery.
streetery, the closing operation of the streetery at 12 a.m. And what we can do in the meantime is that allows them to open their streetery and start seating and getting revenue from the streetery. What we can do in the meantime before July 6th is we could work on a modification of this or a settlement kind of agreement.
Community agreement.
A community agreement, whatever we want to say. Otherwise, we would protest the license.
So we would say that this streetery could be open at a certain time. 11 a.m. is fine with me. To 12 a.m. 7 days a week.
Yes.
Friendly amendment, what if we ask them to stop liquor service at the streetery at 10 p.m.
That would be
rather
more,
than going up to the
yeah, that would
up
be
to the
more
last
workable
minute.
for us. Yeah, I'm in favor of doing that.
Is that a friendly amendment?
So, so the amendment would be that, Matt, we would, correct me if I'm wrong, we would send a letter of support for their stipulated license for a closure at 10 p.m.
A closure at midnight and
Oh.
and the cessation of alcohol service at 10 p.m.
2 hours before.
2 hours before.
Could you do 11 p.m. for cessation of alcohol?
Whatever you all are comfortable with.
Commissioners? May I ask a question?
Yes.
When you say cessation of alcohol at either 10 or 11 a.m., do you mean they have to clear the alcohol, or that's sort of the last chance for a patron to order alcohol and then finish consuming that until midnight? Because it's a very big difference. That's why I want to clarify.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what the legal definition of last call is, but
Well, if you stop service, like what happens at the bottom here is consumption stops at midnight, means that
they clear it away.
at 11:59, you can still be drinking your drink, but at midnight, it has to be gone
Yeah.
from the space.
So in
When
our,
the streetery
From the
closes.
streetery, yes.
Because
But
it
I mean,
closes.
this says right now,
Right.
at midnight, it has to be gone.
okay, what
Yeah. No, that's,
I was trying to have some leeway between the closing time that we're suggesting that the streetery close completely at midnight. Sorry, you need to go home or come inside.
Right.
And some earlier time than that to stop, at least stop serving more alcohol so that you're not giving someone another drink at 11:45.
I mean, when Jim, I suggest 11 p.m. and if they're still drinking at midnight, then they can go inside and finish a drink inside. So, okay.
I think so.
So can someone do a motion? So I understand. So
Nancy.
I move that we send a letter of support for Cuba Libre ABRA number 082457 for a stipulated streetery license with the provisions that we're asking that they cease new alcohol service at 11 p.m.
And
and
that
close the streetery at midnight, 7 days a week. Patrons would presumably have the option to move inside once the streetery closes.
okay,
Is that a sensible motion?
sure. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lee, and all those in favor? So
4-4.
4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. And the consequence is that the ramification would be that we have to file a protest to the license if they're not,
If they're not agreeable.
if they're not agreeable to that by July 6th.
Okay.
So my thought would be that we would need to, at this meeting, establish a motion to protest the license unless a settlement agreement or community agreement is reached by July 6th for this.
Okay.
Does
And,
that,
and designate a representative of the commission in this matter,
does
which empowers somebody to do the things.
that make sense?
It does, I think.
Okay. Okay,
I wouldn't
then,
mind taking this a step further. That we allow them, that we end the service hours at 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday do the midnight thing.
Are you making a new motion that replaces the motion we just
I'm
approved?
thinking
Excuse
about
me,
it, yeah.
Commissioner, with all due respect, there are outdoor areas that have later hours that are in city center than what you're trying to shut down now at the Streetery right here.
City center is private property, and so there may be other rules at
You're
play.
saying
I
if the
don't know.
concern is those residents there, they already have closer places that have later hours. It's just, we were trying to just maintain the continuing operations, and I understand that there have been concerns about some noise complaints, which were not addressed or brought to our attention until tonight, and we're sensitive to that. But now I feel like we're being maybe made an example of with all the additional clamp downs without much discussion. And mind you, the Sidewalk Cafe and Summer Garden are still operating at the later hours, 8 feet away.
Yeah. Which we did not address when the license came up for automatic renewal.
Which we may next time.
That's in 28.
Yeah, I know.
Can we get back to Commissioner Schenkel's motion?
well,
Or do we?
I think we voted already.
well,
Yeah, we did vote on
if
it.
establishments are open in city center later than 11 o'clock, then
For outdoor.
for outdoor, then that is a different story.
Mm.
What,
Let's go with what we decided earlier.
okay.
Okay.
So the motion that we did, that we've had on the table and was approved, was to send a letter of support for the closure of the Sidewalk Cafe,
Of the streetery
of the streetery at 11 p.m.
at midnight with the cessation of alcohol service at 11.
Oh, right. Got it. Okay,
That's what we're
for
offering.
the stipulated license.
That's what we were offering as a letter of support.
Yes, and that we would then ask that we work on a community agreement,
Well, we would.
or we would file a
we-
protest.
We would ask to hear back from Matt Menora once he consults with his client.
Yeah.
To see if that's acceptable or practicable. If they accept our offer of that letter of support. I don't know that we need another agreement if
Well, I don't, I think
you've
there's,
you've done a lot more of these than.
yeah, I think there's a more discussion that has to be had on this. Because I don't want us to hold an establishment
Hostage,
to a different standard
then
than what is already the standard.
that it's impacting exactly the same residents.
Yes. So I would move that in addition, I would move that we work on a community settlement agreement related to the hours of operation. And if we do not have an agreement in place by July 6th, we would send a letter of protest to APCA for ABRA 082457.
Who will send the letter and who will be the representative in this matter? Commissioner Swart.
Commissioner Swart? Then
I will.
Okay, and it'd be Commissioner Swart that would send the letter on behalf of the commission.
And will be designated in our motion that we just passed, there should be something thrown in there about
We have to
designating
put it in
Commissioner
there.
Swart. All right. Wayback Machine, just briefly.
So we will send, if we do not have a settlement agreement by July 6th, Commissioner Swart will send a letter of protest on behalf of the commission and represent the commission in this matter.
Are we voting on that?
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Groff. And all those in favor? So there's 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. Matt will be in touch, but we'll get off this stipulated letter of support with the hours that we have here, so they can at least get revenue from that.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, commissioners. We appreciate the support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too. Okay, we are at 8 o'clock. Do we have someone from DDOT on with us this evening?
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Oh, hello, how are you this evening?
I'm well. How are you all?
Great, thank
Thank
you.
you for hanging in there.
Thank you for,
Oh.
yes, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Before we start, let me ask a question of the commission. We have in here the comfort break. Do you guys want that to happen?
All in favor?
Anybody wants it? Go.
No.
Okay.
No, we'll continue on. Okay,
Yeah.
we're continuing forward. Okay, so we have DDOT 16th Street Landscape Medium Project Update. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's going to be very brief. I don't have a formal presentation or anything to share, but I'm Aaliyah Mejias. I'm the project manager, and I presented back in March. So it's really nice seeing you all. Thank you again. I just want to share that we are entering our final design phase. So we aren't complete yet, and we don't have our formal construction schedule yet. But once we are approaching that, we will communicate with you all where we are. But I just want to let you know we're approaching. We did receive one comment during the NOI period, which was from Commissioner Groth. So we didn't hear anything else from your constituents. But if you heard anything that you want to relay to me, please pass that along. I did receive a letter from St. John's Church, which we're still responding to, but I just want to flag that. And one update that I believe I said that there wasn't going to be any travel impacts for during construction, but it does seem that there will be one travel lane that will be temporarily closed during construction at certain parts. Again, once the construction schedule is set, we will communicate that with everyone along the corridor. It should just be during normal operating hours. It's not before commuting hours, but the project manager will provide ample notice and will communicate that with the bids as well as all the businesses in the corridor, and we'll share it with you as well. But I just want to give you all a notice about that. There's chances that might not be needed, but since the plans are looking that way, I just want to provide that update. I also just wanted to see if you had any questions, but wanted to touch base since it's been some time and didn't want you all to think I forgot about you. So I'm open ears,
Right.
and please let me know if you have any comments or anything to
I
share.
just wanted to say that the letter that was received from Commissioner Groth was on behalf of the commission. It wasn't
Yes.
an individual SME,
Yes.
or SMD.
It was a resolution by the commission,
Yeah.
which is
That's right.
supposed to be given great weight.
Yes, it was.
Couple questions. One of the sort of minor tweaks about the slip covers on the deck chairs was someone had asked about red and white DC colors to be used in the trees and flower combinations and whatever. Any further thoughts on that?
Yeah, we do have we are sticking with the dwarf cherry blossom trees per the mayor's guidance. Magnolias would have been lovely. They would have been, a great choice as well. We considered that. And so the plant palette really is kind of the same of that soft pinks and purples, but there are some whites and blues and yeah, but we did consider plants that were in the white and red palette.
Just while we have you here, there's money in next year's budget for landscaping to connect Lafayette to Farragut Square, which would be the block of H Street and then the diagonal block of Connecticut from H up to I gather. Is your office also going to be doing that? Will Golden Triangle and their contractors also be doing that for consistency?
That hasn't gone to us, but that's a good point. I'll touch base with the team internally to see if we've heard anything about that.
Yeah, I would like to know about that specifically. It's $6 million, I think, in the 27 budget for that. Last I looked, I don't know if it's been taken yet, but.
Any other questions or comments?
We don't like the answers.
Got it. Okay. All right. No, I have no other questions.
Great. Thank you, everyone. That's all for me. I hope you all have a great night.
Thank you so much.
I'll follow up with you about the other legs of the landscaping.
Okay. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you so much. The final item on our agenda this evening is a letter asking for a letter of support for ANC 5C's resolution for equitable metro rail access. And this is given the redevelopment of the RFK Stadium and potential for other developments. ANC 5C is advocating for metro rail access that serves Benning Road, the Heckinger Mall, and Bladensburg, sorry, no and there, Bladensburg Road, Ivy City, the Arboretum, Fort Lincoln, Landon, and other communities in the east end of Ward 5. And do we have Sean with us or someone representing 5C? We are a tiny bit early on our agenda.
Washroom break.
I heard a call for a washroom break.
Do we want to hold until 8:15?
Yeah, just do a washroom break.
Okay, we will have a brief recess until 8:15, and we'll return to this matter at that time if 5C joins us.
Second.
I'm good. I have a question for you. Good. You've got up a good point, or an interesting point, the sidewalk obstacles. A lot of time that is sometimes you see little holes and metal studs out of the ground from decommissioning. All it takes is like some of your tank right there.
Yes.
I don't have dog, but I always feel like, well, if I had a dog, I would have to overstate that. Hurt itself.
Some of those are within the purview of the BID, the Business Improvement District,
Right.
the downtown BID.
They've been around for years.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
I mean, they come from my mind. I don't know whether they have that thing right there.
They do.
It's like if we would have a list of, okay, that's the important, there's this.
Yes.
Takes 10 minutes, somebody.
Yeah, and in fact, a lot of times when there's like a less than half-inch rise.
Right, that's another.
That they bring the grinder out for those. A lot of those they just grind
So
down.
that,
Oh, yeah, they do that.
so if we look at the list of saying, hey, here's the item that's.
Yeah, the way to get something on the list is to start with a 311 report.
Okay.
That being said, the 311 phone app has apparently been like offline for 6 weeks or something. But July 1, it's supposed to be.
But that's the
fixed.
right.
Yeah, that's the place to start. And send a copy if you're in Michael's district, send a copy of the number just so. I mean, that's what I tell my people in my district is if I don't have the 311 report number, I can't do anything to follow. Yes.
You have a lot of trees that, the branches, go down to that, 4 or 5 feet. Or it takes somebody to,
Yes, why are these not trimmed so that people don't walk into them? Especially when it's been windy and now there's something that's half hanging. And, yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Mission it is. I don't feel like I have to go snip trees myself, but.
Right. Yeah, we don't encourage rogue
Since you have been doing all this good work, and it's not really that hard to, and we're not talking technically trimming, right? There's
Yes.
anything you can reach with your hand here.
The gentleman that was on earlier from the BID, Lucas,
Yeah.
that's a good question to ask. He would be able to tell you who, because there's an arborist for the city, and Casey Trees is a land grant tree thing that maintains a lot of them.
Then our risk costs $50 an hour.
Yeah.
This is kind of somewhat.
I think Casey Trees though maintains an inventory list. Of a map. There's a map.
Okay.
But Lucas would probably be the right person to start with.
Okay.
To find out how to report, a specific set of situations.
Oh, I don't have a specific situation. It's all over town.
Right,
It's not-
right.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem is that our budget was cut last year
But within the bid
by $1
area,
billion.
the bids do a lot within.
That they do.
We're privileged to live within a
Mhm.
bid where there's private money at play to do a lot of this kind of maintenance stuff.
But sometimes skills can get damaged. Plus they're hanging, all right?
Yes.
Take them out.
Are they on public property or private property?
Again, it's right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, sometimes you're saying, oh, we need to do this, and it's not on
if it-
public property.
But if it's between the sidewalk and the curb, those strips are public property.
Okay.
That's where they are, yeah.
I'd like to recall us back together. It is 8:14. Has folks been able to read the resolution?
I don't understand enough of the issues How it got onto the agenda at all was that I figured it was a fellow commission, which is trying to manage, you know, a big swath of Ward 5 that wants solidarity from other commissions about, hey, these public transportation big improvements should have more community input as to which neighborhoods get impacted, good or from difficulty.
Oh.
Yeah, that map,
Yeah, this one,
that
I-
map. I was really struck by that map as to what a huge difference that would make to different parts of Ward 5 as to where they put that.
Is that the blue line? Or no, I don't know what the color is.
I don't know that there's a color for
This
it.
is silver. This is silver. This is blue.
The blue is down at the south there.
Yeah. I don't understand what,
I think there's a new one coming.
got it.
Maybe it's a gray or. I just somehow thought that the principle of commissions being in solidarity on the principle of effective neighborhoods should be listened to, have a seat at the table as to what,
Mhm.
how the development is being, really directed.
I've seen some things on the news shows related to this issue and related to the monies that are going into the new stadium out there and what the plan is and all this kind of stuff. And I can understand their desire to have a study done related to this.
Yeah.
But if it comes out between a battle between
Neighborhoods that are not ours.
not having the stadium and doing something else,
Well, the stadium's already happening,
we
no
think.
matter what they do with this.
So this resolution is basically just asking, I guess, WMATA had identified these, they call them blue, orange, silver capacity
Mhm.
and reliability. They had done a study and published that in 2019. And they're asking basically for funding to undertake a focus study of the new Ward 5 metro segment, given all the changes
Since 2019.
with 2019.
Mhm.
And they're asking the mayor to allocate some capital budget to this study and to evaluate a rail investments potentially to, I don't know how they would ever get a metro to Union Market, and encouraging them to explore partnership models. I don't have a problem with sending a letter of support for this.
I'll second.
Oh, I was not making a motion.
Are you saying a letter of support for the study?
For the study, yes, for
Things that are asking.
yes, the things they're asking for, which is they're asking for these 5 things. They're asking for WMATA and DDOT to coordinate to undertake a study. They're asking the mayor and council to provide some funding for the study.
Mhm.
They're suggesting that the study focus on these particular areas, and they're asking to explore partnership for funding models.
I think those are all.
Sorry.
I think those are all eminently reasonable
Yeah.
requests. And I think it behooves all commissions to be in solidarity with each other on matters that affect big numbers of people and big legacy communities. So
Can we call it some sort of worthy cause?
I like, well, if we're gonna do this, they're asking for a letter of support, so I think we should send a letter of support for
For their-
ANC 5C's resolution for equitable metro rail access, given the redevelopment of RFK and other developments in this area.
second,
Second. All those in favor? So 4 commissioners voting in favor of that.
Oh.
Okay. Any other items for our agenda tonight?
Nancy requested the March and April.
yes,
Okay.
monthly treasurer's reports.
Monthly
If we could
treasurer's
just,
reports, yes.
if we
So-
can approve them right now, then I can sign,
Okay.
I can attest them as secretary on the portal.
Okay, so I'll do that right now. So the March 2026 treasurer's report is, we had an opening balance of $66,423.40. We had a closing balance of $65,415.40. We spent $1,008. They were all a thousand of which was 750 of which was devoted to minute services, and then $258 was for our Chair Schenkel to reimburse him for the expense of the post of the mailbox. So that is the March 2026 treasurer's report.
I move to accept this monthly treasurer's report for March of 2026.
I second that.
All those in favor? Sorry.
Woo-hoo.
So 4 commissioners voting in favor of that?
And then the April 2026 treasurer's report, there were no expenditures. We had an opening balance of $65,415 and $40. And we had a closing balance of $65,415 and $40. No expenses.
I move that we accept the April 2026 monthly treasurer's report.
I second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Swart. All those in favor? So 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. Just as a point of clarity, are they requiring that we approve a treasurer's report each month?
A lot of these things have to be uploaded to the portal, and I'm still figuring out which I have to attest as secretary
I
as
think
to
it's
when
only
they were
QFR
approved.
that
I think it's only the QFRs.
Okay,
needs to be signed. And
I
uploaded.
just,
That's fine.
in an abundance of caution.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
We should bless everything in public meeting so that it's in the
Yeah.
minutes.
Agreed.
Yes. Okay, got it. I didn't know if this was a new requirement that they had.
All those
Yeah.
in favor of blessing them in a public meeting.
Yes.
Our next meeting is July 14th, 2026, at 6 p.m. We'll be a hybrid meeting, both online and in person in the MLK Library. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening, and enjoy your month of June.
Yay.
Thanks so much, everybody. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
All in favor,
Time is
please.
8:23.
What if there's no second?
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Is this your first meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you for being here. It was fun going over and you guys all.